So I don't know if any of you remember, but I've been saying this over and over and over again about Devin Haney. I want Devin Haney to fight Tank Davis next. You've probably heard me say that a million times thus far. I'm not saying he shouldn't go after Shakur. I'm not saying that. There's nothing wrong with that. But if he wants to make some big money, and if he wants to make a bigger statement than he made fighting Lomachenko, I personally believe from a business perspective, his next fight should be with Tank Davis. Gervonta Tank Davis. Of course, we know Gervonta Tank Davis. He just got released, last week, 2 weeks ago? I think it was last week, from being incarcerated for a few months for allegedly violating his probation and the conditions of those probation. I don't know, but of course, it's going to take a little time for him to get acclimated to the training regimen and all those things that that we use in boxing as prerequisites to get back in shape and to compete. Cash Crypto, what's up? I see you in the chat. That's just for me, from a business perspective, I would like to see Devin Haney and Tank Davis. We know that Devin Haney's dad, Bill Haney, been on record time and time again, and he's been on record talking real crazy about Tank Davis. And Tank Davis equally have been on record saying some unfavorable things about Bill and Devin Haney. I just want them to fight. Guys be talking real spicy and talking trash, and then when it's time to fight, sometimes the boxing community, the fans, don't get the fights we really want to see after they promoted it through trash talking. And plus, that's a major fight. Devin Haney and Devin Haney and Shakur Stevenson, that's a major fight too, but it's even more major. Have that crossover appeal if Devin Haney fights Tank Davis. I do understand, and I've heard, and I see somebody in the chat catch me up to speed. I also heard that as well, that Shakur was ordered to fight with Devin Haney by the WBC. You can say it the other way around, it's the same thing. Devin Haney was ordered to defend a WBC title against Shakur. All that's the same. The thing is, though, we got to keep it 100. Shakur Stevenson, he did just come to the division. But that don't mean nothing, because we've seen Terrence Crawford come to the welterweight division and automatically get a shot at the title with Jeff Horn. So it's not uncommon for fighters to come jumping up another weight class to get a shot at the title. That's not uncommon. So it's not out of the ordinary if Shakur Stevenson fight Devin Haney. But what I'm saying is, from a business perspective, and from the fans already having it in our psyche, that there's a beef between Tank and Devin. There's a beef between Bill Haney, the father and trainer of Devin Haney, and the trainer of Tank Davis, Mr. Calvin Ford. There's a beef between those two guys. So it's like y'all been beefing for a while, talking trash to and about each other, and it's the biggest fight in the division revenue-wise. It just makes more sense for both of y'all to finally come together and fight. And I have to say this, because I've said this time and time again on this channel, live, on record, that Devin Haney and Tank Davis do have something in common. They have several things in common, but most notably, they have one thing in common, and we all know this is to be a fact. They don't compete a lot against African-American fighters. And it's not for any other reason except for generating the most revenue. It's just business. It's never personal. It's never racial. It's just business. And so we have to make sure that that fight get built up in a certain way so that both of these brothers, these men who are African-American, can compete against each other. Why is that so critical, because here in America, we have people all around the world that watch this channel from other countries as well. So I'm only talking about inside the states. Here in America, there has been a trend with the fans of the sport of boxing. And I'm talking overall now. This is generally speaking. From a fan base perspective, we don't support our American boxers the same way that other countries support their fighters and professional boxers. That's a fact. So if those two fighters, undefeated by the way, can get together, Tank Davis and Devin Haney can get together and fight, they got to build it up a certain way. And they've already been building it thus far with the trash talking. Because the main goal in the business is to draw crossover appeal to the casual boxing fans who don't know too much about the sport, but they'll watch it if it comes on. They're entertained. They'll be entertained by it if it's on. They'll pay for it if it's on. That's who we try to pull in the crowd when we want to generate the biggest revenue in the sport. I'm not against Devin fighting Shakur at all. Shakur Stevenson have what? Good representation, as I always talk about on this channel. That good representation in this business is what? Priceless.